Tonight on the show, we're talking basketball, hockey, and college lacrosse scores. We'll travel to Yale University to meet one of their more dominant athletic programs, and you'll meet a young man who faced one of life's toughest battles. Coming up next. Welcome to the Sports Buzz. I'm Emily Pepe.
And I'm Ryan Van Alsten. Now, Emily, I know you want to start off with some scores from around the NBA.
Absolutely. Let's get started. The New York Knicks hosted the Cleveland Cavaliers this past Sunday, losing 101-83. LeBron James and Kyrie Irving both had 18 points, while Knicks guard Langston Galloway had 13. The Brooklyn Nets took on the Denver Nuggets on Monday night, winning 110-82. Leading the way for the Nets was Brook Lopez with 19 points, while Danilo Gallinari had 22 points for Denver.
And switching over to another league in season, the NHL, the Bruins took down the Blackhawks by a score of 6-2. The Rangers edged out the Blue Jackets 4-3, and the Islanders were shut out by the Canucks, ultimately losing 4-0. And now, Emily, I know you'd love to share some scores from your favorite sport, lacrosse.
Absolutely. Let's get started with some local men's scores. The Yale Bulldogs were able to pull away and beat the University of Maryland 10-6. The Fairfield Stags dominated Manhattan College 15-4. And on the women's side, a close game between number 2 ranked Syracuse and number 9 ranked Virginia. The Cavaliers came close to pulling off the upset, but in the end, it was the Orange that were able to hold on to win 14-13.
Let's take a look at a report by our associate, Eric Onashefale, who recently attended a basketball game where he was able to catch a few highlights of one of the sport's potential superstars of tomorrow. Take it away, Eric.
Thanks, guys. Here at the MLK Classic at the Webster Bank Arena, Sacred Heart High, led by Mustafa Heron, took on Notre Dame from Fairfield. Notre Dame comes into this game 3-2 on the season, while Sacred Heart looks to remain undefeated. Let's go to the highlights. Fans turned out to the 2015 MLK Classic at the Webster Bank Arena to see Notre Dame High take on Sacred Heart High and their superstar player, Mustafa Heron. First quarter highlights now. Charles Fisher off the steal. He starts the one-man fast break, and he tells his boys, I got this. Stops, pops, hits the jumper for 2. Sacred Heart up early. But Jordan Federici of the Lancers lays it up and in with the answer. Charles Fisher, though, off the drop pass, beats the first half buzzer and puts in 2 of his 18 points. And it really wasn't close after that. Mustafa Heron calling on the block, sizing up in his man. He says, my left hand is my dice hand, and I'm rolling a 7. 3 from the wing. Off the broken play now, Mustafa Heron again sizing up the defense. Drives to the middle, strong lefty lay, and he's really showing you why he committed to Pitt as a sophomore. And Jamie Dixon is definitely going to love his defense. Off another turnover, steals. He starts his own one-man fast break. He loves it when you call him Mustafa one-handed stuff. The Lancers, though, tried to mount a comeback as Jordan Petway 3 off the pick, but it really wasn't enough, as Sacred Heart was just too strong. One miss, a second miss, but Mustafa Heron, 25-11, puts it up, and then Sacred Heart wins by 15.
Thank you, Eric. Exciting things to come from Mustafa, as we are looking forward to following his career at the next level. The Quinnipiac University women's basketball team is looking to keep their winning streak going. Our own Luke Hetrick was at the game to bring you the highlights.
The best, though, in the Metro, Quinnipiac looking to stay undefeated in conference play. The dynamic duo of Samantha Guastalla and Jasmine Martin also looking to extend their win streak to 10 games, but they would have to face off against an upstart Rider team looking to spring the upset. Theme for the day, play for Kay. Kay Yao, the former NC State coach who passed away after a lengthy battle with breast cancer. Look, the color may have been pink, but the Bobcats come out red hot. Here's Boo Apshire finding Nicolai Ostergaard in transition. She says, I must break you. And then it's Val Driscoll, gets position, can't get it to go, but Guastalla there to clean up the rebound. And then Driscoll, she's working in the post, feed the big girl. She gets it, lays it in. Quinnipiac jumps out to a quick 8-2 lead. Here's a good problem to have as a coach. Your starting 5 gets tired, bring in 5 more. The gold rush comes in, and they pick up right where the starters left off. Here's Adley Martucci, a little shoulder lean, gets it to go in the lane. And then Maria Napolitano says, give me some of that. Step back, the 2-step for 3, one of her back-to-back triples. Coach Fabry's like, girls, not enough. I want more. Luke, we need to run the score up. Come on, what do we got to do? And Boo Apshire's like, Coach, I'm your 4-year starting point guard. I know what I'm doing. Call the Windex girl. She's shining glass. Bank is open, and the foul. And then what Beyonce is to Destiny's Child, Samantha Guastalla is to Quinnipiac. She gets the 3 there. She had a game-high 15. Quinnipiac stays perfect and extends the streak with a 96-54 win over Rider.
While on site to film those highlights, our man Luke was able to speak with a few of the Quinnipiac players about their past success. Here he is again, sharing the story of Quinnipiac's recent championship run.
Perfection. There's simply no other word to describe the 2012-13 season for the Quinnipiac women's basketball team. A season which saw 30 wins, a spotless mark in conference play, and finally taking home the Northeast Conference title.
I mean, it was just a whirlwind. That season was so exciting. Everyone wanted to be perfect in their role, and I think that's what really led to our success.
Getting to experience that for the first time in school history was unbelievable. I was glad that we were able to be the first team to ever do that in school's history. That was huge.
As the Bobcats celebrated their hardware, they knew it was part of their last ride in the NEC. On December 14, 2012, the school announced it would be leaving the Northeast Conference and moving to the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. No surprise, Trisha Fabry and her ball club were ready to embrace the challenge.
For us, when the announcement came, it was like, okay, we want to finish our last year at the NEC is at the top, and at the best it would be a tremendous exit.
I was excited. I thought that it was kind of at a convenient time where I would get 2 years in the NEC and 2 years in the MAC, which would be, you know, pretty exciting to switch it up and play some new teams.
For me, it was, you know, personally exciting because I had played in the MAC at Fairfield U. So for me, it was really like kind of coming home.
New conference? Not a problem. Quinnipiac cruised through last year's regular season and found themselves in a familiar spot, the conference championship game. Only this time it was 9-time defending champion Marist who spoiled the debut for the blue and gold.
To lose was just devastating. Like, I'll never forget that feeling. I think a lot of us have that same, we can remember that feeling, and I don't think any of us want to ever have that, you know, taste in our mouth ever again.
It sucks, but I think everything happens for a reason, and I think that just was molding us for this year.
With the 2014-15 season off to a hot start, Fabry's club has hit its stride thus far. But no matter how the regular season goes, it's the postseason success that ultimately matters.
We have to get it done. I mean, we want to beat everyone in, you know, the regular season, but we need to get it done.
To have lost and fell short last year, you know, I think we can take a positive out of it and be able to be hungry for this year.
Make no bones about it. Our goal is not to be 14-3 on January 14th. I mean, it's about coming down a net come March.
Instead of being embraced as the new kids on the block, the Bobcats will have a target on their back, and that suits them just fine. At the TD Bank Sports Center, Luke Hetrick, SportsBuzz.
Although I played against Quinnipiac as an athlete and they were one of our bigger rivals, it's very impressive of them to be that consistent and dominant for so long. So congratulations to them and good luck with the rest of the season. Don't go too far because later on the show, we'll take a look at one of Yale's most prolific athletic programs, and you'll never guess what it is. Coming up after the break.
SportsBuzz é patrocinado por Berkshire Hathaway. Vendas de casa Prudential é com a Berkshire Hathaway. Novo nome, novo look, mesma ótima companhia.
Welcome back to the Sports Buzz. Not too long ago, my co-anchor Emily took to the field to check out an all too often overlooked sport. One that, it just so happens, a nearby university, never thought of for their athletic prowess, has a remarkably dynamic history with.
In 1919, Yale University officially named men's squash a varsity sport. From 1934 to 1975, under head coach John Skillman, the men's program won 16 national championships. It wasn't until the 1973 season that Yale announced women's squash would also be a varsity sport.
Tradition, when they come in here, they know we're trying to win national championships. We have great success in the past, and so I think they feel, I don't know if obligation is the right word, but the commitment to try and contribute to the program at the level that we play at, which is a national championship level.
The program's been around a long time, so it's definitely a little bit of pressure to uphold what has been built here. Just walking around, seeing the pictures of the past teams, not intimidating, but definitely gives you a sense of what's happened here and the national championships they've won and what they hope to continue.
In 1983, David Talbot became the head coach of both Yale's squash programs. And in 1989 and 1990, he led the Bulldogs to win the national championship. His most recent championship came in 2011, when he led the women's program to an undefeated season. And as a former professional, Talbot has high expectations for both his programs.
Well, I think that our number one, we set our goals early in the season, and to obtain the goals that we're setting, which is to number one, win an Ivy championship, number two, to win a national championship, to continue the tradition of what Yale squash has been for decades, which is excellence.
But as a whole team, he's the driving force behind what we do as a unit. Every day in practice, he talks to us about what we're doing, what the purpose is, what the goals are, and then that goes into the matches and as well.
I feel like we can still finish the year winning the team championships at the end of the year and finish hopefully with an Ivy championship.
With the Ivy League championships not far away, both the men and women's teams are looking to make a strong push to be the top seed for the tournament.
Well, that's a great story. Thanks for sharing that with us, Emily. But, of course, not every story is about a local team finding great success on the field. For our next piece, we'll take a look behind the microphone to hear the tale of a man whose passion for sports took him down a different path. Our ace reporter, Luke Hetrick, took a trip down to Pennsylvania to find the details of this SportsBuzz exclusive.
Pennsylvania loves its sports, and that's not news to anyone. But what do they love more than sports? How about talking about sports? Well, thanks to one man, those fans have been talking nonstop for 6 years.
I'm Corey Geiger, beat writer for the Altoona Mirror for Penn State football and Altoona Curve baseball, and host of Sports Central every day on ESPN Radio in State College and Altoona, Pennsylvania. To do 6 years in a local radio market by yourself can be pretty difficult.
From the very beginning, Sports Central has been a hit. While to most the job seems easy, Geiger's talent and work ethic has allowed the show to blossom.
The thing with Corey Geiger is that he brings the sports talk to this area, which really no one else has. And he was the first person to really do it.
It's not easy. Even doing 2 hours a day, people think, oh, it's just easy. You throw on the mic and do 2 hours of sports talk a day. No, you got to be prepared. You got to know what you're talking about, or else otherwise your listeners are going to expose you.
He's kind of a legend in the market when it comes to sports and media. I say legend. I don't throw that around. I mean, he really is. When you come here, you know who Corey Geiger is.
Corey's never been afraid to have an opinion on anything, and he goes hard at these opinions.
The man has never been afraid to tackle the big issues. So when the Jerry Sandusky child sex abuse scandal shook Penn State and the nation, Corey did not hesitate in blasting those in power during the darkest times in Happy Valley. However, those who were ever true to the dear old white and blue did not go quietly.
We are talking about the biggest sports scandal in our country's history. I received thousands upon thousands of messages from people wishing I was dead, that they hate me, that they think I'm evil.
That was really unfortunate to hear that some people went to those lengths because they were that irritated by his opinion, and his opinion based mostly in fact, by the way.
They can cut you a little bit. So you have to ignore them, but I have a family. I had to get a security system on my house to make sure that my family was safe.
The way Corey handled himself during the Sandusky story was really, I thought was a perfect way of handling something fair, but with criticism as well.
With 3 years approaching since the scandal rocked the nation, Corey has marched on from the adversity. Every day at 4 p.m., he continues to voice his opinions with as much passion as ever.
The thing about sports is we can disagree and then still go hang out and get a drink afterward, even if you like one team and I like another team.
He's always going to come on every day at 4 o'clock, and he's going to give his opinion on the big topics of the day and the week and the month and the year.
Sports is fun, it's entertainment, it's an escape. It's not the most important thing in the world.
Sometimes we need a voice. Whether or not it's what we want to hear, that voice keeps us in check. For sports fans in Central PA, they have their voice. In Altoona, Pennsylvania, Luke Hetrick, SportsBuzz.
All right, well, when we come back, you'll meet a young man that battled one of his toughest opponents off the field. That's coming up next on the SportsBuzz. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Imagine being 11 years old, you're getting ready for school, and you're getting ready to hang out with your best friends. Then you suddenly learn that you would have to fight one of life's toughest battles you could ever imagine. Our own Tassi D'Angelo has more.
At Woodland High School, the biggest star of the soccer team is not the top scorer, but this player, Nicolas Lucas. At the age of 11, Nick had to prepare for his biggest challenge outside the soccer field.
When I found out that I had leukemia, I was like, I gotta get through it. I can't give up. I just gotta keep going.
Nicholas was diagnosed with CML leukemia when he was 11 in 2009. He had undergone a bone marrow transplant in 2010.
It just all came so fast that I was just afraid of everything because I didn't know what was going to happen.
He told me, I know if you are close to me, nothing bad gonna happen to me. And I never leave the room after that.
We got our strength from Nicholas. When Nicholas told us he was going to fight and he was going to fight, that's when we got our strength.
My dad said that he would rather go through leukemia than me. And I told him, you wouldn't be strong enough to do it. You're not even strong enough to be with me right now. I mean, you're basically crying all the time.
Nicholas was the strongest of the three of us to handle what came his way.
After years of fighting leukemia, it was time for Nick to start high school.
He started high school not wanting anyone to know that he had cancer. So he decided to join the soccer team without anybody knowing.
Tony and I noticed that it was hard for him freshman year. So we talked to Nick and asked him if he would like to come on as a manager.
That made me happy because I wanted to be a part of the team, and I didn't know that was an option.
It was over the summer we started playing tennis and stuff, and then he came up to me and was like, I want to get back into soccer. I was like, all right, I'll help you.
Nick has been cancer-free for 5 years, and his hard work has started to pay off.
Nicholas is getting the MVP for any children in the state of Connecticut that have any challenges that they had to overcome.
I don't know about any of the other nominees, but if anyone deserves it, it's him.
I tried my hardest out there, and the award shows that I did my hardest out there. And I showed them what I could do.
I've been working with a whole bunch of kids, but I never came across one like Nick.
The heart that this kid has, huge, absolutely huge.
Throughout middle school, we all saw Nick, growing strength. And then right when high school hit, he prevailed. He went through it.
I'm really proud of Nick.
But this is not enough for Nick.
I gotta leave my mark on the school so they remember me in the school.
As Nick prepares for his final season, he doesn't realize that he has already left his mark, the mark of strength. For SportsBuzz, this is Tassi D'Angelo, Beacon Falls, Connecticut.
Thank you, Tassi. Wow, what a great story, huh,
It's
Ryan?
truly inspirational, Emily. We here at SportsBuzz are all thrilled for Nick. Hearing such a heartwarming story always puts a smile on my face. And coming up after the break, we have an endearing story sure to put one on yours. Stay tuned.
SportsBuzz é patrocinado por o Vitamin Shop, com mais de 300 lojas no país todo. Nunca foi tão fácil comprar.
Welcome back, everyone. Hey, Emily, I'm sure you know the Miracle on Ice. Well, as we celebrate the 35th anniversary of that stunning event, some of us are already searching for the next generation of hockey superstars. We sent out Chris Ballas to scout out the future of the sport. Now let's see what he's found.
South of the Canadian border, it isn't as easy for children to play hockey because it's not as simple as going outside and practicing on a frozen pond. Youth camps, like those at Fairfield Ice Academy, are designed to help children develop their hockey skills and play a sport they love in a climate where ice time isn't always available.
Well, considering that we're more south, just where we're positioned in Connecticut, compared to Canada, where there's oftentimes the ice is frozen most of the year. This is not like most rinks where it's a full rink. There's just 2 mini rinks, so kids can skate almost any time as compared to other rinks where there's not a lot of availability. So it just adds extra practice. A lot of kids are in other teams, other divisions, playing in a real league, and then they'll come here just to get extra ice time.
The most important part of hockey development for young children is increasing their skating ability, and programs like these allow the children to do exactly that.
It's just more time on the ice. One of the most important things about hockey is, especially at their age, is their skating ability. And you can only get that by just putting in the hours. It's hard to just teach really good skating. Obviously that's our goal, but compared to the kids in Canada, they get to play all the time, and that's why a lot of the pros are coming out of European teams, Canada, etc. So here we just give them extra ice time. They work on their comfortability on the ice, and they hopefully get better.
While becoming better at hockey is the goal, the children also need to have fun, and that doesn't seem to be a problem, even for children 8 years old and under.
I like skating and playing. I like the game. It's really fun, and I really like hockey. I've been playing hockey most of my life, and I just want to get better at hockey because, well, it's my favorite sport, and I play 2 other sports, but I like hockey the best.
The best part of the Fairfield Ice Academy is that it gives our son an opportunity to play hockey year-round. It's something he greatly enjoys, and work on his skills and continue to develop into a better hockey player.
We definitely start them at a young age here. I know a lot of leagues, they won't have ages that are like 3 or 4 years old just because they're not that good yet. So they come here and we have camps. We were just running a camp today, and the kids I had were pretty much 3 or 4 years old, some 5. So it gets them like learning how to work together at a really young age.
The Fairfield Ice Academy has a variety of youth camps and events that allow anyone who's trying to develop their hockey game or simply skate around to come and have a good time.
What's unique about the Ice Academy is that we do birthday parties also, which has kids who generally like skating have the birthday party, and they have all their friends come who've never skated before, and they actually come back for more lessons, and they get enrolled and they start playing hockey and they have a great time. Another unique thing is we have a special needs program that's actually very successful here. The ages are from little kids to 30 years old and above. They enjoy coming out here, they get some exercise, and everyone has a good time with it.
From Fairfield Ice Academy, for the Sports Buzz, I'm Christopher Ballas.
How are you at ice skating?
Well, Alma, I'm absolutely terrible. I can barely even stand with skates on. How about you? You any better?
Oh, am I any better at ice skating? I am absolutely terrible at ice skating. Rollerblade, all of that stuff, perfect. You get me on ice, it's not gonna happen. I remember when I was younger, I went to a birthday party at an ice skating rink, first time going, and I was actually doing good. I got to the point where I can go backwards, and then I just completely ate it. Took out a kid up against the boards, and you know what? That is what it is. It happens.
It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. Well, that's all the time we have here today on the Sports Buzz. He's Ryan. I'm Emily. We'll see you next time. Have a great night.